Top Flight TV. I'm in here with Paradice Wop. What's up, big dog?
What's up, man?
Ain't too much. Glad to have you on the platform.
Appreciate you having me,
Welcome,
man.
welcome, welcome. Yes, indeed. Hey, look, so we're going to start this from the top, man. Where you from, brother?
I'm from 149th Street, man. 7th and 8th Avenue.
Okay. New York City or?
New York City.
Okay, what borough was that?
Manhattan.
All right.
Harlem, to be exact.
Okay. What was it like growing up in Harlem, man?
Oh, man. It was the greatest place in the world, man. Greatest place on earth. Harlem. It wasn't as diverse as it is these days. But Harlem, just grew up as, like the mecca of all hoods everywhere.
Yeah. So, what street you said you was from?
I'm from 149th Street between 7th and 8th Avenue. I guess it's known now as Frederick Douglass and Adam Clayton Powell Boulevards.
Okay, yeah, that sounds familiar. You got any notorious people coming from out of there? Any celebrities, rappers, singers, actors?
From out of Harlem or from
out of your hood,
out of my neighborhood?
Yeah.
Plenty of them. I grew up with Loon. As far as rappers, everybody want to joke around. When they try to throw shots at a Harlem cat, they want to throw Diddy in it nowadays. But Diddy ain't. I never seen Diddy in Harlem growing up. Diddy might have been born in Harlem. His mother and his father might be from Harlem. He might have been born there, but and he's older than me. But I know as a child, I never seen Diddy ever. I never heard of Diddy until he became Diddy or Puffy, whatever. But I grew up with Loon, Mace. Who else? Just to throw them squad. Loon, Loon, my man, Loon from right around the corner from me. Right, he's from Esplanade, right up the street from me. And I don't know. I can't think. I could think of a lot of gangsters, but I don't. All of them. Just about everybody you heard of. Preacher. This is a dude that. Like most dudes my age couldn't even tell you what Preacher looked like. It's literally like this was a guy that used to give me quarters and dollars to play video games. I mean, I could remember him, used to tighten his stomach up, let me and my brothers punch him as hard as we can in the stomach. I'm talking about jump up, do a helicopter kick the don't walk sign and all that. With a pepper silk skin suit on with his waves going to the side. But yeah, there's a lot of them. I just threw his name out because I know that's a popular name on the gangster tip. But there's a lot of them, I come from a strong family. So,
Yeah. Nah, absolutely. That's what's up, man. Okay, so when did you leave New York City?
I mean, I've been leaving New York City since I was 14 years old. I've been going out of state and stuff like that since middle school. Since middle school, I've been leaving New York, like going down to D.C., going down to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. When you're a kid, old head might send you on any kind of mission. So, I was there. I was in D.C. 14 years old. I was out D.C. But when I became like a permanent resident, I don't know. I say when I was probably about officially, my first kid was born when I was 23. So I'm gonna say officially, like what the year that had to be 2001. I say I became official resident of the DMV area by then, by 2001. At that time, I think I was living in Oxon Hill. No, I was living in Northeast at that time. Yeah, my firstborn was born. We was living in Oxon Hill, but yeah, I would say I became officially a resident by the time I was like 23, like 2001. But before then, like I said, since 14. I was like 9 years. I've been ripping and running state to state, trying to get it done before I found my home here.
Okay. So what's your connection with Hagerstown?
how I got to Hagerstown. In 1994, I was in juvenile joint in New York, Spofford Juvenile Detention Center. And at the time, I was going back and forth to Harrisburg, but just ended up getting pinched on a juvenile armed robbery charge. It was an old case that I got pinched on. So I'm sitting in Spofford, and I met this kid named Wiz, this kid named Marquise from Sugar Hill. And being that I had got pinched and I was in Spofford, my older cousin, the guys that I was going out to Harrisburg with, they decided to take my brother with them out to Harrisburg with them in my absence. And my brother ended up never even made it out of New York, got pinched in the Port Authority in New York with 2 guns on him. 2 guns in his bag, getting on the Greyhound bus. So what happens is my brother ended up coming. When I called the payphone on my block, you know, my friends do like, yo, your brother just got now. He probably on his way in there with you right now. So when he came in, I was cool with this kid Wiz from Sugar Hill. Then, you know, my brother ended up getting cool with him. But I ended up going home after a couple of months. Him and my brother ended up going upstate to DFY together and doing that whole thing. They became like best friends. So when we used to go see my brother, like in the visiting rooms in the DFY up there back then, you would get like your own little private room with your family and stuff. You won't be in a whole visiting room with 50, 100 other people. You like get your own little private room. So when me and my moms and us used to go see my brother, we used to travel with Wiz's dad. So all of us used to have that same room. So him and my brother was together for like 18 months, and we traveled. We became like a little family. But when Wiz got out in 1995, Wiz started coming to Hagerstown with some guys from around his way, Sugar Hill, which is like right up the hill from, it's kind of close to my neighborhood, walking distance. But once Wiz started going out there with these cats from around his way, this is like December of 95. And Wiz and my brother came home like a week apart. And my brother started coming out here with Wiz doing they thing. And, you know, just quite naturally, I followed up on it, you know, and, you know, it was definitely a thing. We talking about 1996, 1995, and we 17, 18 years old. So, yeah, that's what it was back then. And my brother was a rapper. My brother and Wiz, they was rappers. They was rappers, you know, and I got 2 younger brothers that's rappers, and I always supported them and they rap thing. I never really wanted to get into the rap thing, but my brother and them was rappers. Naturally, they followed me in the streets, and I kind of followed them in the rap shit. I mean, but yeah, that's how I got to Hagerstown though. Sam and Wiz kind of got tight off of them being the rappers. Like when we was in the juvenile joint, they kind of like bonded, both of them rapping, and somehow them niggas ended up out here. But yeah, that's how we got here to Hagerstown. By the way, my brother is Money Stacks, man. Money Stacks. He's, you know. Hey, it's crazy. I can remember the first day. I got here. The first day, right? Because I remember, right, like I said, I was, you know, my brother and them been coming down here for some months, and I was touching some chicken for some months before I ever even stepped foot out here, right? And I can remember like I got out here, like ended up coming out here off of like a real bad rumor, right? You know, these broads is funny. So one of my like childhood like girlfriends, like junior high school. By this time I'm 18, right? So one of my childhood girlfriends, she was coming out here with her boyfriend. She had a boyfriend. She was coming out here with, it was getting some money, right? So once she got wind of that, I had my brother and some people, I had some peoples down here. She's so much of a troublemaker, she come to me one day telling me, yeah, Wiz is a little nigga. My man be extorting that nigga. This what she hit me with, right?
This is a vicious games these broads play, right? Mind you, she's like I said, she's like a childhood, I don't want to say a childhood sweetheart, but she's one of my best friends, like relatives. So when I go over to his house, I would still see her, right? But she said this to me. When she hear I got somebody out there, she said, yeah, Wiz is a little nigga. I could never, she said it just like that. Like, yeah, Wiz is a little nigga. My nigga is extorting that nigga. And just so happened, Wiz had shorted me like $6 grand. Probably like a week prior to that, he had shorted me like $6 grand and gave me some wild ass story. So now when she say this to me, like I said, I know Wiz from juvenile. I never seen Wiz in no altercations or nothing to know whether he tough or not, honestly, you know what I mean? I left and him and my brother carried on their relationship. I wasn't with him. So when she tell me this, I'm not thinking she's just gonna make this shit up. She tell me her nigga is extorting my man. So we decided to come down here and check the temperature. So the reason why I can remember the exact day, it was April 29th, 1996, the first time I got out here. I remember that day because it was my cousin's birthday. And I remember a girl gave my cousin a bottle of Moet. It was my cousin's 20th birthday. A girl gave him matter of fact, it's these girls, the girls that we used to go to DC. It was some girls from around my way that was going to Howard. So we used to go to DC messing around with them. But they gave him a bottle of Moet for his birthday. He don't drink. My cousin like to smoke. He don't drink at all. So the night that we left, we was waiting for my brother and my man Wiz to come to the city to get right so we could send them back down. And it ended up getting real late. And I know we had one of my homeboys out, Super Nintendo was out at the time. We up in the crib smoking, playing Super Nintendo. It's like 4 in the morning. My man Wiz like, yo, we might as well drive down there. Now, I ain't had no ideas, no plans whatsoever of getting in my car dirty and driving on the highway and nothing. I mean, I just got a new Lexus, all that. So I'm like, yo, when Wiz said it, we just like, fuck it. I'll never forget, my brother had an old ass stereo. I remember he got this stereo for his birthday, like when he was like 10 years old, yo. And we still had that shit. I know we popped that shit open. I remember I had like 9 ounces of crack, a pound of weed, and a Mac 11. We put all that shit up in the speakers. And when we got in the car, like I said, I know it was April 29th, was my cousin's birthday, because the girl gave my cousin a Moet and he said he don't drink. And when we put all that Wizzy up in the car, my cousin said, yo, my cousin T-Man, that nigga said, yo, if we make it down here, I'm popping this bottle. And I remember it was his birthday. And I remember I slept the whole ride. We left like 4 in the morning. And I woke up at 9 o'clock in the morning. We was at the last house I woke up on J Street, on Jonathan Street. The main strip in the town. If nigga don't know nothing about no other street in Hagerstown, motherfucker know about Jonathan Street. And I woke up right there at the end of Jonathan. It was the last house on the right side on Jonathan Street. That was my first day out here. But the thing about Hagerstown was, I remember when I first got here, we up in this lady crib bagging up for hours. And then we went and got a room. Me and my cousin went and got a room at the Venice. The Venice was like a nice hotel back then. And we got a room at the Venice and we slept all day. It was a rainy day. And we woke up that night and came driving down J Street in that green Lex with them cream seats in this small ass town. But all we seen is mad New York niggas. We seen a bunch of niggas that we grew up, like niggas from New York that we ain't seen in years is out here chewing out here. We seen a bunch of niggas. We seen niggas that we done had beef with. But the funny thing about Hagerstown is, you see a nigga that you had beef with when you was growing up as kids. I'm talking about, you see nigga you sure enough had some problems with. Niggas used to be happy to see you out here. Some niggas just ain't want you out here. They ain't want you to, shorten up none of their chicken butt. Hagerstown is, my first time out, I can honestly say that I probably didn't experience it like everybody else experienced it because I was here for 2 days. I got here, I remember, like I said, it was April 29th. I think that was on a Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was a Wednesday morning I got here. And that whole day, I remember that whole day. I slept most of that day. When we came out that night on the strip, we seen some niggas from Harlem that we knew. When we came down the street, and it was so crazy, it was bugged out because it was a nigga that my man shot. And I was surprised at the friendly energy he was giving up when he seen me. They was talking to some girls. As soon as we pulled up in the Lex, you know, automatic, we young back then, this back then, so the girls is, and we ain't out here, the girls is gawking crazy. Who coming through here in the Lex? Ain't nobody else, I mean, so my man, them, they wasn't on no hater time or nothing. They seen that the girls was on me, and he like, yo, this people's eyes. Bitches automatically jumped in the car with us, and we took them back to the Venice, had a ball that night. This is my first night in Hagerstown. The next morning, these bras was from Frederick, though. The next morning, everything worked out. The bra was from Frederick. I ended up giving the broad the weed, to move the weed for me, in Frederick. And it's so crazy. I remember I'm going back and forth to Frederick dealing with this broad in John Hanson Projects. And I remember, you know, this is his beeper days. We ain't had no cell phones. I remember my beeper go off. I got to go to the payphone and make a call. And I remember some bunch of niggas surrounded me at the payphone. You hear me? I remember it was a bunch of dudes with bandanas around their face, surrounding me at the payphone out there. And this broad, she must have been a live broad, because she came outside. And get the fuck up out. When she said something, them niggas scattered. They went about their business. But I was out here for 2 days, that trip. I ain't get all acclimated with the people in the town. I wasn't. The crazy part is I probably was in Hagerstown for like 5 years before I started coming outside and mixing and mingling people. Only thing I knew about Hagerstown was J Street for about 5 years. I come out here, I always came out here with my own broad, get a nice little suite, we laying low. I wasn't coming out here fraternizing, mixing and mingling, not even the niggas I knew from New York. I didn't even want them to know I was here. For like 5 years I did that. Word, I mean, but that first initial trip, I was only out here for 2 days, and I went back, and I got caught a pistol charge in New York. Ended up going away for like 2.5 years. And in 99, this was 96. I came home in 98, 99, you know, tried it again. But it ain't really work out too good for me. This last trip, I ended up catching 15-year bid out this motherfucker.
In Hagerstown?
Yeah,
Okay.
Hagerstown.
Well, you mind telling what charge? How you caught the bid?
Yo, it's so crazy, right? And I was just telling somebody the same story. And then every charge I got, I kind of caught a charge trying to be, I don't know, somewhat noble to somebody else, right? So when I got here, when I came back out here in 99, I remember when I came back out here in 99, by then, now my brother was real acclimated with the town, so everything that was going on in the town was through him at the time. Everything was through him. Like I said, I'm a ghost, and everything was through him for years. The only reason what made me have to come out the shadows is my brother ended up getting locked up. So I didn't really have him to do all the footwork, and I had to come outside. And like I said, that wasn't until like 2000. My brother got locked up December of 99. I started coming outside like 2000 and moving around and learning the town and stuff like that, messing with the girls out. Before that, I'm talking about for years, I never even messed with none of they girls. I always came out here with a girl with me. We gonna get a suite, we gonna chill out and stay out of the way. I ain't never messed with none of these girls until like summer 2000. And how I ended up catching my case, so how I ended up catching my case, so when I came back out here, like I said, my brother got locked up, I ain't know nobody. I came back out here, I remember I met this white lady named, it was two sisters, Debbie and Marge. No, first I met this black lady named Auntie, right? She used to mess around with like this dentist dude. And she used to always call me. She was real cool. She used to let me come over her crib, whatever. She used to keep money in my pocket. And I'm dolly. I'm talking about I ain't got no crew, no nothing. I'm Dolly, you know what I mean? She should look out. From her, I met Debbie and Mars. Now these is all like, so kind of like prominent smokers in the town. Like these are just the type of smokers that niggas kind of dreamed about getting up under their wing, right? So I don't remember what Auntie name was. Auntie used to be milking this dentist dude. And she used to always call me over there, milking this dentist dude. And Auntie was like schooling me. She introduced me to fucking Debbie and Mars. So when I met Debbie, no, Auntie introduced me to this white boy named Ned that used to ride a Harley. That's what happened. She introduced me because Auntie was black. Auntie was a black lady. She used to milk niggas. She had this dude used to have a Harley. And through him, I met Debbie. Now, when I met Debbie, Debbie said, "Yo, I'm about to get a $150,000 lawsuit." Now, mind you, back up a little bit. Mind you, when my brother got pinched, I went back to New York. Now, I was back in New York for like 8 months or some shit like that. Like I said, I don't know nothing about the town, like really I don't know nobody. I don't got no friends. I mean, I don't have no allies. I don't know the town like my brother know. Everything was through her. I always played the shadows, never tried to know nobody. So when I come back to the town this time, like I said, I don't know nobody. And I'm trying to, I'm trying to find my way. And I'm trying to find my way, and I ain't know nobody. Like I said, and it was a tedious, like a real tedious, slow process out here by myself, not knowing nobody. Couple of dudes I know from New York out here ain't really trying to, helping niggas. These niggas just, whatever. So I met this lady, Debbie. She said she got this $150,000 lawsuit. So automatically, Debbie's calling me over the hot number. Debbie used to live 222 Summit Avenue. She's like right up the street from here. For real. Like, she used to call me over to her house, right? And Debbie used to have all the prominent fiends from the town and the outskirts. From Debbie, I met this white boy named Rob. Him and his brother had their own construction company. I'm talking about, Debbie was the type of lady, I could go over there. I could go over to her house, like literally, leave like $1,500 worth of shit with her and come back in a couple of hours and get my money from her. It became that sweet and I got hooked onto that shit, right? Like she literally, I'm talking about I was down bad when I met her. I crabbed up off of Debbie, like really crabbed up off of Debbie, off her little lawsuit money and the people that I met through her. So I mentioned all that to say this, right? After I got on my feet, was when I left New York owing a nigga some bread in New York, right? I got my shit right. I paid homeboy his bread. Homeboy gave me whatever I need, everything I needed. So now I'm on a whole nother level now. I ain't dealing with no cluckers. I ain't dealing with no, Debbie and Mars. I'm on something else now. Now I done went and got my little crew, brought my niggas down. That's for them to deal with them type of people. But one day, I just happened to come through Hagerstown. I live an hour. I always lived down D.C. I always lived down in the D.C. area. I always lived there. And so one day I just happened to come to Hagerstown to come pick up some chicken. I ain't heard from Debbie and Mars in months. Like I said, I'm not on that type of time no more. I ain't heard from them in months. So Debbie calls me. I just happened to stop in Hagerstown this day, and Debbie calls me. She says, "Yo, I got $300. I'm not even on that time, but my dumb ass felt like, yo, this lady put me on my feet. I don't want to act like I'm too big for her now. Yo, this was the worst move. Yo, I really said this for a fucking pipehead bitch, you know what I mean? I said, yo, this lady put me on my feet. I'm not going to act like I'm too big for her right now. And went over to this bitch to serve her a $300 plate. Man, I never forget this day, right? It was me, my man Dogman, and my man Waterman, right? God bless my nigga Dogman. And I had a rental, an Isuzu Trooper. It was in my kid's mom name. I didn't have no kids yet at this time. My kid's mom, she was pregnant with my first kid at this time. And she rented me an Isuzu Trooper. I didn't even have a driver's license. So my man Waterman, he's the driver. I'm in the back seat. When she calls me for the play, she moves. She don't live on 222 Summer. And I never forget, God bless my man AB. God bless my man AB, died last year. I remember him telling me about going over that 222 Summit address. Like, yo, them bitches is hot. Wop, man, stay out and stop going up in their house. I mean, them bitches is hot. I remember him telling me that. But I took his advice, and I stopped dealing with them anyway because I was getting too much. I was doing too. I mean, I wasn't dealing with no fiend type shit, whatever. So, but months, it's like 3-4 months later. I say 4-5 months later. I ain't seen or heard from her since like summertime. Now it's January 18th, 2001, right? So she calls me. Now we was only stopping in Hagerstown to pick some bread up. Then I was getting ready to head to New York. Because I remember I had started selling weed out here at the time. They had this pool hall up on 145th around my way. We used to go get they dimes at a Haze. I used to buy like 200 of them shits and come out here and sell them shits for $20. And that's what I had my man Waterman here for. So the lady ended up calling me for this $300 play. And she lived on like Broadway, like 225 Broadway, some dumb shit like that. Now I remember we pulled up in the alley on the side of her house. And I get out the back seat, and I remember I had 6 8-balls cheeked. I had 6 8-balls cheeked in my ass. And as soon as I got out the car, I felt the shit fall down my pants leg. I mean, that happens a lot. So I don't know, when I get in the spot, all I had to do is just go in there and pull it out my pants leg and just serve her, right? But I'm so security conscious, more than I'm thinking about the police, I'm always on point for, you know, niggas trying to bring me a move and shit. So when I come in the crib, when she opened the door, first thing I see, who you got up in here? I mean, I'm walking through the house, you know, trying to see what's happening. Who you got up in here? I ain't seen them, heard from her in months. So now her stairs, these stairs feed right up into like her living room type shit upstairs. So as soon as I come up the stairs, as soon as I get to the top of the stairs, I see a big ass fucking white boy, bushy faced white boy with like a plaid, like a plaid shirt, like kind of like this, but like the lumberjack, like the red and black lumberjack type joint. Mm-hmm. I see this big white boy. As soon as I get to the top of the stairs, he's walking up on me, man. Feel like, hey, buddy, like he know me, but he's coming up on me mad fast. I felt the, like he said, hey, buddy, but he's coming mad fast with his hand out. He's like, hey, buddy, yeah, coming up on me mad fast. And it's like, soon as I shook his hand, it's like I got tackled from the behind. Boom, these niggas popping out of the bathroom. Every door and closet in their house, task force agents start popping up out of there. And they like, yeah. Like, damn, how long you been out here? We ain't never seen you before. That's what they said to me. We ain't never seen you before. We know everybody's face. So they're like, yeah, your number was the first number in her book. I looked, they showed me the paper from the first time I met her, my handwriting, the paper that I put my number on the first time I met her, right? So they locked me up. They booked. Oh, so they got me. Remember, before they even find the shit. Just before they even found the shit. At the top of the stairs, they shaking me down. They shaking me down all crazy, pat me down. Like I said, that shit fell down to the bottom of my pants leg. So I see it when they rat on me, pat me down and all that. I see it falls out. But I'm at the top of the stairs, and all the police came up from down the stairs. So I'm trying to get an angle on this shit so I could kick it down the stairs. I remember they went in my little watch pocket, and they found my earring. I had this, back then, that's when niggas used to wear the dumb big diamond earrings and shit. And I had this big ass diamond earring that was so heavy for my ear, used to have my ear bleeding, so I wasn't wearing it. I had it in my watch pocket. So when it was wrapped up in some tissue, so they went in there, there you go. It wasn't nothing. But then they caught the shit that fell out my pants leg before I could get the angle on it. And that's when they took me through the whole shit, like how long you been here and all this other bullshit, and showed me my number, my handwriting and all that. They takes me up out of there. Now, I remember I had 25 ecstasy pills on me at the time, too. To this day, I don't know what happened to them shits. I had 25 ecstasy pills on me when I got locked up that day. I don't know what happened to them shits. But when they pulled me out of there and take me to the precinct, I see they got my man Waterman pulled over in the Isuzu Trooper. We got Waterman and my man Felipe pulled over. So they takes me to the bookings, took me to the precinct. I'm in there. And at the time, I had never did E before. And I kept saying, I said, man, I said, when I get in this bullpen, I said, I'm gonna pop one of these motherfucking E's. I remember my kid's mom was pregnant. All her friends was doing it. A couple of my niggas was doing it. And niggas, I'm saying, yo, I was always scared to do it. And me and my baby mom said, yo, after she had a baby, we was gonna try it. But now I'm in the bullpens. I know I had 25 E-pills on me. And I don't know what happened to them shits. But when we in the bullpens, it was this gay white dude named Barry that was in the bullpens. I mean, Barry, I knew Barry because I was fucking around with his niece. Like, so I'm like, yo, Barry, I'm like, what you doing in here? He said, they came to my my place, saying they had a warrant. He said, we made a sell out the place on the week of January 7th. She said, they came there to arrest me and my roommates and told us if we give somebody up, I mean, we'll let y'all go. He said, I wasn't giving somebody up, but my roommates did. I said, who your roommates is? He said, Debbie and Marge. I said, oh, shit. Word. He said, Debbie and Marge. But white boy Barry, gay white dude, he ate his charge. Them bitches, they ate cheese. Sent me down. So I catches the case. They sent me through, gave me a $150,000 bond. It was so crazy. I remember when they took me in front of the, what you call it? Not the magistrate. When they take you in front of the, what's the motherfucker that give you a bond? I forget. Whatever he is. Not the magistrate, the
Commissioner.
The commissioner. When you go in there to get your bond, right? So everybody already telling me before I went there, like, man, you ain't never got no cases in Maryland. It's your first, charge, boom, boom, boom. It's gonna be light. So when I go in front of him and he doing, they got you handcuffed and he got the shit on the glass. So I could see it on the angle and I could see him put, the 150. I'm like, oh, 15,000, that's light. I'm out of here. This is nothing. That nigga turned that screen around. I seen all them zeros on that shit. I said 150,000, but good thing out here, I don't know about now, but I know they used to do 5% back then. So I only had to kick out 7,500 to get out. So I gets out the next day, right? And this was a kind of like a funny case, funny situation because my man Waterman, he ended up getting knocked off. He ended up catching. Now, I said when they was taking me to the precinct from the house, I seen them, they had him pulled over. They locked him up. He got caught with some weed on. They gave him a $30,000 bond for some weed. Excuse me. Back then, they gave him a $30,000 bond for getting caught with 11 bags of weed. And, I bailed out. I bailed out, bonded out, got out, and started fighting my case. Started fighting that case, and I ended up taking it to trial, and I got found guilty.
What made you take it to trial if they found it on you?
That's a good question. That's a good question, man. That's a real good question. I guess me just being stubborn at the time.
So they hit you with 15?
No, what happened was, I went to trial with that charge. That charge, I didn't even understand it at the time, but that particular charge, they only charged me with, I got found guilty of attempted possession. Whatever that, not even possession with intent. I got found guilty of attempted possession, which was what I understand later was a misdemeanor. But I ended up getting 8 years for that. Honestly, I got 4 years. Well, my lawyer had a lawyer, John P. Quarterman. He used to be a judge out in this town. He was a judge known for giving motherfuckers 20 years for a 20-piece. But when he became a lawyer, from what I understand, they said somebody sent a letter bomb to the dude, damn near blew his nuts off for all types of stuff. And then he became like some type of ambassador for one of these countries, then came here being a defense attorney. So he was, when he became attorney, of course he had a little bit of clout around here because he used to be a judge. So he was getting dudes off left and right. So I jumped on it to get him as my lawyer. And I went to trial with this dude. And I got found guilty. But he got them to defer my sentence. And you know when you get found guilty, they don't let you walk out that courtroom after a guilty verdict at trial. They do not let you walk. They hardly ever let you walk out that courtroom and come back to court when you're looking at some type of time. So Quarterman got them to defer my sentencing after my guilty verdict. I just had my daughter and let me stay out for like 60 days before my next court date. And in between that time, I got shot. I had all types of stuff going on. Just wild young nigga shit was going on at the time. Where I ended up didn't turn myself in when I was supposed to turn myself in. And when I did turn myself in, shit was getting so crazy out here. My kids' moms was so scared for my life. She begged me to turn myself in jail. And I still thought I was only gonna get 6 months. They had the boot camp program out here back then. I feel like, I'm gonna go in, I got a drug beef, I'm gonna get boot camp, I'm gonna be on these streets in 6 months. It ain't work out like that for me. When I went in, thinking I was going, cause my lawyer said I was only gonna get 4 years for that charge. But when I went in, they sentenced me to 8 years. So, but everything moving along smooth. But the crazy part is it's crazy. I never really did no time in this county, because when I came in, the day I turned myself in, and I got sentenced the day I turned myself in, I turned myself in like I negotiated my surrender type shit. I mean, so I came the day I turned myself in, I got sentenced on that same day. And it was like a Wednesday, and I think the buses that take you down to DLC is like on a Thursday. So I only stayed there that one night in the county and caught that trip to DOC. But things start kind of like turning for the left when I got down to DOC. So when I'm in DOC, I hear my man DC and Tucson, I'm hearing they got pinched. And I didn't think too much of it. So I'm speaking to my man Bill. My man Bill telling me this. But when I end up getting over to MCTC, I get to MCTC, I speak to my kid's mom. She tell me like, yo, Bill said he ain't want to stress you out. But that case that man DC got, that he made a sale to the informant, you was in the car with him when he made the sale to the informant. So I was already anticipating. I was kind of anticipating. I'm an optimistic dude. I'm a real optimistic dude, so I won't even say I was anticipating it. I don't know if I just brushed that shit to the side or what. But I say no more than a week later. Now, when I got to MCTC, I seen my counselor like the next day. Cool white boy. He like, yo, what you doing here, man? He's like, this your first time with a drug case in the state of Maryland? Like, man, you supposed to go to boot camp, man. I'm gonna have you out of here in a week. A week later, they popped my cell, 7 in the morning. I just know that's my trip going down to boot camp. I just know that's my trip down to boot camp. I know I'm in 15 cell, the last cell on housing unit 6, down MCTC, a 15 cell. Bam. Nigga said, court. I'm like, court? I don't got no court. I'm sentenced already. Like, man, we got a writ right here if you go to court. Man, they black box me up, shackle me up, bring me back to Washington County. So the 2 COs that transported me, I'm like, yo, go see what's going on. Who up there? What's going on? So I'm on the other side of the wall, and I hear the CO introduce himself, and I hear the people up in there introduce themselves, Hagerstown Task Force and DEA. My whole heart just dropped. Right then and there. I'm sentenced, expecting to go to boot camp, expecting to be back on the streets in 6 months, and I hear DEA and Hagerstown Task Force. So it's so crazy because I started crying, man. And that probably was like the first and the last time in a long time that I actually, I was crying. I was so mad. And one thing I don't do, I I had made it. I don't tell people to suck. I don't do that. SMD. I don't tell people SMD. Since a kid, when I was a kid, as a kid, like 10 years old, 11 years old, I remember I told older dude from around my way to SMD. And number two of these both of them held me down. Number one nigga held me down, like held me down, like had me leaned over a car like this, like with my whole bottom half of me is exposed. Other nigga came and uppercutted me in my nuts. So it's like that never really was my thing. Like even as a kid, that was never, SMB is something I never really say. But this day, when them people is trying to get me to take fingerprints and all this shit, and I know I'm supposed to be going home in 6 months, I threw all types of hot dog stands at these people right then and there. And the COs was the ones that was like, yo, come on, Mr. Brown, yo, you know, because it wasn't even the officers, it was the sheriff that was fingerprinting me. And he told me like, yo, man, I'm just doing my job. I ain't the arresting officers, you know. This what the sheriff was saying. Because I'm like, yo, fuck y'all niggas. I wasn't giving them my fingerprints. And the CO's like, yo, come on, Brown, man. Yo, we got to get out of here, man. Just give me your fingerprints, man. I'm talking about, I'm crying, flipping. I'm in there flipping like a young nigga. I'm 22 going on 23 years old. I'm flipping like, man, fuck y'all niggas. Suck my, I'm going off on them niggas. I ain't getting no fingerprint. I carried on up in there for a little minute. I mean, for a little minute. And they got me to get them my fingerprints and shit. I mean, got up out of there, so now it's a fight. So, what was weird about it though, right? So they rearrested me, right? I'm down MCTC for like 2 months. I never forget, right before Christmas, these niggas packed me up and take me to boot camp. Fuck, I'm confused now. I know I got a whole open case. They showing me I'm looking at 48 years. I'm looking at 24 years. They charged me with, that's what I left out. They charged me with 2 indictments. So an indictment is saying, the indictment is saying I sold an ounce of crack cocaine to an informant on one day, I think it was August 1st, and they saying I sold a 1/4 ounce to an informant on another day, like July 12th or some shit like that. Now, as I'm reading the complaint, you know, they got CNI number, agent number, such number. Got the nigga name, but they got my agent number, whatever. But as I'm reading the complaint, it's saying how I sold an ounce of crack cocaine to an informant, and I shorted him 10 grand. This is how I knew exactly who it was. I never forget. God bless me and my man AB together. I served the nigga 18 grand. It was supposed to be 28. He called me back saying, yo, you shorted me 10 grams. And I said, I got you. All this is in the complaint. I know exactly who this nigga is. You know what I'm saying? I know exactly who the nigga is. All that's in the complaint. On the second indictment, I met the nigga at the Martins when Martins was on Pennsylvania Avenue. I met the nigga at the Martins. And I remember because it got my man Charlie Bo name in the complaint too. He was like an unindicted, I don't know if you call him an unindicted co-conspirator because he's never got indicted for that, but they got his name. And he wasn't making a play. He wasn't making no play. Just like with the case with me and DC. I never got arrested for his case, but it was the same informant that lined us all up. You know what I mean? But the funny part is the homie called himself a case because this was my play. This was my play. The homie called himself a case going behind my back fucking with this nigga. That's how he ended up catching the case. I'll never forget. I was in the car. I remember the day when we pulled up. We was getting ready to leave town, go to DC. So when we pulled up on this nigga, the nigga one said, yo, Wop, you don't mind, right? I never forget it. He said, yo, Wop, I see my man walking out the house. He like, yo, Wop, you don't mind, right? It's a good time to ask me, do I mind? I mean, you already in mid-motion. But this is how he called himself a case. He ended up catching a boot camp and whatever. But yeah, that's how I got lined up. I mean, forming nigga. I don't even know if I even put his name out there like that, but you know what I mean? But
Let me ask you though. All right, so I ask this question often. You said you was locked up in New York. Was that juvenile? That was juvenile?
I did juvenile time and I did state time.
Good. All right, so I'm generally interested. All right, so I know New York is bigger. I'm sure it's a lot rougher. Yeah, you dealing with different cultures and things of that nature. What's the difference between New York corrections and DOC in Maryland?
The difference between New York corrections, the difference. In what regards you asking me like?
In all regards, as far as the politics, the gangs. I know in New York you got the Latin gangs, you got Bloods. I know out here you got the DMI, you got BGF, things of that nature. So I want to know, what was the difference as far as doing your program and wherever you was at?
Well, I think the difference, for me, being in jail in New York, you're around all New York people just like yourself, but you're around people from different counties in New York, upstate, people that's, it's parts of New York that's take you 10 hours to get to. Like trying to go from New York City to Buffalo, it might take you 10 hours to get to Buffalo, New York, from New York City. And it's like a whole nother, it's all New York State, but it's like a whole, it's like a whole different world, a whole different, Buffalo is more closer to Detroit than it is to New York City. You understand what I'm saying? So I kind of think they culture is, I don't want to say they culture, but they still New York. They still New York, but but when you in New York State prison, in New York State you kind of like go through, like I said, the different geographical areas. Like you got Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan. You got Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan. You got the different boroughs, and you going through the different, shenanigans that you got to go through with dudes that's from New York City. Whether it be a dude might hate on you because he's not from your borough, or a lot of dudes tend to think, Brooklyn dudes is more aggressive. If I had to compare the geographical areas, kind of like to the state. So in Maryland. In the Maryland system, you would compare the Brooklyn dudes in New York system kind of like to Southeast niggas. You know what I mean? Like the Brooklyn dudes would put you in a more mind of like the Southeast niggas or East Baltimore niggas. You know what I mean? Queens dudes will probably put you in the mind of, I'm gonna say Harlem dudes will probably put you more in the mind of Northwest niggas up DC. I can't really speak for Baltimore too much because I ain't really run around Baltimore. I can speak for DC, you know what I mean? But Harlem dudes will probably put you more in the mind of Northwest dudes. Brooklyn dudes will put you more in the mind of Southeast dudes. Bronx dudes will put you more in the mind of a cross between Southwest and Southeast or Northeast. It's like kind of like I said, Bronx dudes is like a mixture between Harlem dudes and Brooklyn dudes. Bronx niggas styles, they could be grimy or they could be some money niggas or a little bit in between. I mean, Queens dudes, money dudes. Queens dudes is a little bit of mixture between Harlem, Bronx, and Brooklyn, kind of a little bit. I would say Queens dudes, as far as like the money tipping, being on some fly shit, whatever. It's different depending on who's speaking to it. But as far as the system, I know when I came in the Maryland system, in the Maryland state system, being from New York and being young, first of all, you're gonna go through it. You're gonna have to go through it. You're definitely gonna have to, show your teeth. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to show your teeth.
Who gave you the most problems? Who would be the group that gave New Yorkers the most problems?
Ain't nobody give me no problems, honestly.
I'm just saying, yeah.
I'm keeping it. I'm not just saying it. I'm quite sure there's a million dudes all over. However many dudes is following your joint on your podcast and watching your joint. Quite sure everybody who remember me when I was there, you know what I mean? Remember?
Well, now you say you had to show your teeth, so I don't know if that's what you was alluding to.
The crazy shit, me showing my teeth, I had to show my teeth on some New York niggas. I mean,
okay, all right.
I spanked a B-more nigga. I had to spank a B-more nigga. That's a funny story though. I had to spank a B-more nigga. I definitely had to spank a B. I think I had to spank a couple of B-more niggas. I spanked a DC nigga before, but yeah, I think, New York dudes, man, out here, I'm gonna tell you the funny shit about being locked up out here. When you locked up out here, New York niggas, man, like, I'm a New York nigga, man. And that's what I used to check niggas on out here. Definitely in the system out here. Yo, Harlem, you from Harlem? Nah, I'm not from Harlem. I'm from 149th Street, 7th and 8th Ave. That's why I started the interview off with that. Where you from? I'm gonna make you ask me, where is 149th Street, 7th and 8th Ave? We different. I'm not gonna say, yo, I'm from Harlem, like, and you automatically just put me in a category with every other Harlem dude you know about, you heard about. I'm from the part of Harlem. I'm from the heart of Harlem. I'm from the heart of Harlem, the part of Harlem where you had to come, you had to come this way. And I'm from the part of Harlem where all the, I'm from the part of Harlem where once upon a time, this were all the goons and all the robbers, all the niggas that was on their bullshit. I threw Preacher name out there. That's my neighborhood. I mean, these is, not glorifying him and and not shitting on him at the same time. He is who he is. You know what I mean? But I just threw his name out just to give you an example. These are the type of dudes like that. Like I said, I'm not just throwing a nigga name out. It's Preacher, this is a dude and I know him direct. This is a dude, if he saw this interview, he'd say, yo, Lil Ron, he know who I am. I'm not just throwing a nigga name out there. You know what I mean? But I'm from the part of Harlem that was rough. Like real rough. Like we different. I ain't from the part of Harlem that you think you just coming to. Those just them pretty niggas from Harlem. So I always, like, even in the system out here, I'm from 149th Street. We different on that block right there, and that's a family. That's a family block, like a real family oriented. That's a block where you'll go through right now. You'll see dudes that's 75 years old that been friends since they was 5, 6 years old, and they still tight like that. And these are dudes that raised me, my father, best friends and stuff like that. But coming in the system out here, New York dudes tend to want to be known, I'm the top New York nigga. Like in jail, out in this system, the Maryland system, you see dudes going through that. They want to be known as I'm the top New York nigga. And New York niggas is, I'm a New York nigga. New York niggas is real egotistical to the point where they might rub people the wrong way sometimes. Like, I'm not like that because I told you I've been traveling since I was a kid, and I know it's real niggas everywhere, just the same way you got bozos everywhere. I don't care and I'm not a geographical nigga, I don't care if you my next door neighbor. I mean, if that man over here from Albuquerque, New Mexico, show me more respect and show me more love, that's my man right there. That's who I fuck with. That's who I'm riding with. I don't care if you live next door to me. You might get the next door neighbor pass, yo, chill, hold up, let you get a pass, because you the next door neighbor, but this is my man right here from Albuquerque, New Mexico, you know what I mean? So I don't get off on the geographical shit, you know what I mean? Like I said, my block was different. We done had Detroit niggas, we done had DC niggas, we done took a bunch of niggas in on my block alone, like, whether they had, like, there's a bunch of people from different states, they could say they came to 49th Street, it was love over there. We ain't treat them like, and that's another thing, you say the difference between Maryland system and New York system. That's another thing I want to say. A New Yorker end up in the Maryland system, niggas gonna try to treat them bad if they think they could treat them bad. When a nigga from out of town end up in a New York state, New York niggas take him in and try to, niggas learning about where he from and he by himself. niggas gonna try to take them in. Niggas out here be on some sucker shit. Niggas out here try to take advantage of you because you from out of town. They think they could, but we don't treat out of towners like that when they in the New York system. We don't treat them like that. If he a real nigga, he gonna get a fair one, and we don't treat out of towners like that in our system. Nah, niggas out here treat niggas. They try to treat niggas bad out here, but it ain't never happened to me. You know, I could go on for days about. I could give you a whole movie just about my bid out here in the Maryland system alone, like dead ass. I done took some bread out here and all that. I'm talking about in jail. I done took some real chicken in jail out here and all that. And I can't say that I was ever oppressed, ever. You know what I mean? None of that. Like, you know what I mean? I had a couple of fights, and I'm not sitting here saying I was running shit. I'm not pumping none of that. I was saying, like, niggas ain't getting my way. You know what I mean? Niggas ain't getting my way. And there's a bunch of niggas that could attest to that.
Yeah. Bam. So, all right, let's back it up real quick. I'm gonna talk about the Hagerstown music scene. We got a bunch of artists out here, Maryland, Hagerstown. It's a lot of actual talented artists as well. What's your opinion on the state of the music scene in Western Maryland, Hagerstown?
Let me start off by saying this, right? As far as the music scene and industry, I'm talking about music, because I'm in the music, film, and all. I'm talking about just the whole entertainment industry. When it comes to the entertainment industry, I see this area, Hagerstown, West Virginia, Chambersburg. I see this area, this Western Maryland, West Virginia area. I see this shit the same way Bugsy Siegel saw Las Vegas when it was just a desert. That's the way I see it. But I think the problem with out here is, I think it's an identity crisis with a lot of artists out here. Like the average artist, I'm gonna say fuck artists. The average 30-year-old male or female in this area, 9 times out of 10, at least one of their parents is from somewhere else. 9 times out of 10, at least one of their parents is from somewhere else, whether it be Baltimore, DC, New York, Ohio, Florida. Just thinking of the different geographical people that I've been seeing out here over the years. You know, 9 times out of 10, the average 30-year-old man or woman, 9 times out of 10, at least one of their parents is from somewhere else. So what happens when one of these kids decides to start rapping, it's like they be so ashamed to say they're from Hagerstown that they would say wherever their mother's from or their father's from. Well, I'm from DC, or I'm from Baltimore, or I'm from Brooklyn, or I'm from Harlem. But you ain't grow up there, and the people there don't even know you. So when you start rapping and claiming these papers, the people that's from there is not taken to you, and the people where you from is not taken to you because they see you kind of like selling out. So it's like, it's talent here, but if these local artists would just put their city on their back, it's like, yo, for real, not for nothing, good and bad, Hagerstown is on the map. Niggas know about Hagerstown all over this country now, unfortunately, because so many niggas end up in the feds from here. And this is a throughway city to the Midwest. This is a throughway city to the Midwest, so it can easily travel. It can easily travel to the other side if niggas just thought about it and people work together. People out here is so funny style. I'm talking about everybody is just, I'm talking about people is so funny style. I'm talking about the people from here, the people not from here, and everybody is like crabs in a barrel trying to get over on everybody. Nobody's trying to come together for a better cause. Nobody's trying to work. I don't know. I done did a bunch of stuff out here in this town, dolly, that I tried to get other people to pitch in and help, and I still did it dolly, whether it failed or whether, you know, I was successful in it. I done brought celebrities to the town, if you want to call, call her a celebrity at the time, Alexis Sky. I done put on for this town. I'm talking about put on where I done put every artist that's in this town. Then every artist in this town, I put them on stage for free without charging them. Most people gonna charge you $150, $200 to perform at the venue. I did it. I never charged nobody in Hagerstown for nothing. Nothing. Put them on all my shows. I put them on, let them perform, never charged them nothing. I done had events where local people in the town, women, Wop, I need a job, let me help out. I ain't even got no job for them. I created a job for them. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of these people are just so ungrateful. And I don't mean the people that's from here, I mean the people that's here. It's sometimes it's something about what it is here and how these people get together and rub off on each other and they just be on clown shit. And I mean, just be on clown shit. And like I said, nothing is about nothing positive to try to push it. Even the people that it appears that they trying to be positive, a lot of them be about they self, pushing their own agenda. It's for a look. You see it all the time. I mean, I ain't putting nobody out there, but you see it all the time with a lot of stuff that going on. But everybody just play the game right, play fair. This town and everything in this town could go a whole lot further, a whole lot faster if people just play right. Ain't nobody playing right, and everybody is on bullshit. Everybody trying to grease their own pocket, grease their own ego. Just do all. Ain't nobody trying to help nobody but they self. And I'm not saying I'm the only person that's trying to help. It's just nobody ain't came to me and helped me try to help. You know what I mean? Every time I came to people with an idea, do something, everybody looking around, I mean, ain't nobody helping nothing. Then the people that I did help, I act like I didn't help them. Act like they don't remember I helped them because when I felt like they was getting over, I might have lost my temper and told them about themselves. People would love a motherfucking snake to tell them everything that they love that they want to hear. You know what I mean? But when you get a real nigga, when you get a real motherfucker that's just gonna put his foot down and tell you exactly what it is, tell you the truth, they offended by the truth. They want to get it. They rather go sit over there with that snake that's gonna stroke their ego and just keep telling them what they want to hear and they ain't getting nothing out of it. You know what I mean? But, as far as, like I said, as far as just, the music, the climate of the town, that's just what it is. I feel like if people in this town would just put the town, just start putting the town on your back, representing Hagerstown. That's where you from. You ain't grow up in Brooklyn. I got kids here. I got 2 kids here in Hagerstown. It was a time where I hated everything about Hagerstown. Everything about Hagerstown. Once I made 2 kids here, sent my kids here, so I gotta want to help make this shit better. I gotta help want to make this shit the best it could be. I got 2 kids growing up here, and this is what it is. I mean,
yeah. So speaking of the music, you got an artist out here, correct?
Yep, my nephew, Exclusive Zay. Super talented kid, super talented. He gonna come through. Just you just gotta put that work in. You gotta put that work in. We got a lot of things coming through.
Now, when you say the work, what do you say the work? What do you think the work is, or what would you say the work is, as far as you concerned?
Work is staying in that studio. When we talking about the music, we talking about staying in that studio. We talking about being in that studio, putting that work in, recording, writing, putting out music, showing up. That's what we talking about. We kind of hit, see with me and Zay, I won't just put it all on Zay. It's like me and Zay, it's like we started off real strong. And I think one of the things that slowed us down, me and Zay, because first of all, we got ripped off for one. Let's get to that. Because it's a kid out of New York. Like I said, man. Yo, for real, man. Yo, some of these New York niggas that make me don't like New York niggas, man. Like dead ass. When I think about some of the sucker shit these niggas be doing, definitely when it comes down to when I be feeling like you niggas try to play me like I'm an out of towner, man. Like, for real, they don't know no better. Definitely these young, stupid little scamming ass niggas, So it's a kid from around my way that I met through my nephew. I guess he job like in the industry. He had a couple of artists that he got deals and, I guess I bought into that. So when he came to me, honestly, he liked me as a rapper, right? he liked me as a rapper. He thought I was, in his mind, he felt like I was marketable, you know. He felt like I was marketable. And I felt like, I always said if I found the artist that I believed in, I mean, I would invest that money in him before I invest in myself, because I know I pretty much got into the rap shit. I don't want to say I got tricked into being a rapper, but I never wanted to be a rapper. If I wanted to be a rapper, I would have been a rapper when I was a teenager, a young man doing rapper type shit, living like a rapper. So I never wanted to be a rapper. It's like I kind of became a rapper out of my ego, and kind of what I didn't say, but I got tricked. I could go into that. If you want me to. But as far as with Zay, we dealt with this kid who came to me with a marketing and promotion package with videos and all that. He said, Joe, for 12.5, we're gonna get 5 videos and do this, that. It was a whole package that I was supposed to have been getting for 12.5. And he was like, yo, for 10, I was like, yo, take me out of it. No, he wanted 15 at first. I was like, yo, just take me out of it, just because it was supposed to have been a package for me and Zay. So I was like, yo, just take me out of it. Let's just focus on Zay. And it was 10 grand. It was 10 grand to focus on Zay. So I get a kid to 10 grand. Me and Zay went up to see this crazy shit. I got that shit. I recorded this shit and all that. So we went to go see this kid. He talk all this big money talk, this and the third, all this shit. He's showing me his little, showing me what he did so far. And I believed in it. I mean, so we get a kid to 10 grand. They're supposed to pay for like 5 videos and a bunch of other stuff, right? And he told me that, and I was spending a lot of money on Zay. Yeah, so yeah, Zay, like I said, Zay real talented, good looking kid. He know how to dance. He do all that shit, you know what I mean? And like I said, Zay just gotta keep working. And in a minute, like I said, once I get a few of these things out of the way, get myself situated, me and Zay gonna be right back at it. Shit. As far as
I mean, I want to get to the book, man. Seeds of the Game 2. Tell me about that.
Seeds of the Game 2. That's your book? That's not my book. That's my older cousin's book. I'm named after him.
Okay, I see you've been promoting it real heavy.
Yeah, real heavy. Seeds of the Game. My cousin Wop is a legend from Harlem, Sugar Hill, and he got a story to tell, a hell of a story. And I'm talking about, and I'm not just tooting it because this is my cuz. I'm quite sure a lot of other people in New York City would agree with it, just like a lot of other people might disagree with it. Hands down, I know you probably heard of all the different dudes, all the Alpos and the Rich Porters, and all these dudes' names. And this ain't to make no comparison, because it ain't no comparison. But I just threw their name out again, like, because these are some popular names you probably heard. But this guy right here, this is the homie. This is the big homie of the big homies. I'm gonna leave that right there. And this book, he's a hell of a writer. It's a true story. This is his autobiography. This is part 2 right here. Part 1 came out. Part 1 was the excellent book. It was like pretty much introducing you to the family members, all the character, the crew, and everybody. And it went on how it went on. An excellent book. But part 2 starts off, he a grown man, part 2 starts off and it gets right into it. And it's a fast-paced book. You won't be able to put it down. It's a page turner all the way through. It's like a whole adrenaline running and it's going. I'm talking about to read like a movie. And stay tuned because, like I said, Cuzzo, I mean, they named me after Cuz, so and it's a proud name to have, man. But Seeds of the Game 2, man. Get your hands on that. Get your hands on part 1 too. You can go get it. You can get it from me. I keep some at the shop. Come down to Paradise Beauty Lounge.
Talk about Paradise Beauty Lounge, man. Where that's located?
Paradise Beauty Lounge. That's my hair salon. Got some I got some great talented hairstylists that's working in there, nail techs and stuff like that. You know, it's something that another one of the situations I kind of got tricked into doing because I initially, you know, when the location became available, I initially planned on putting a recording studio there. And the landlords I guess they didn't want that type of energy that, you know, recording and, you know, studios bring around, and said they wanted a salon or something. So I decided to just go with it because I definitely wanted that location. And just so happened, a friend of mine who had just moved back to town, I had just seen her like a week before. You know, the people told me that they wanted a salon there. I had just seen her, and she was like, she was telling me, I remember she was telling me she was doing hair where she was living at in Pennsylvania. So I automatically thought about her, and I looked for her number. When I called her, her daughter told me she was at this salon in the Mulberry Lofts. So I went down there looking for her. I didn't see her, but I seen another girl I knew that did hair, popular hairstylist, and I told her what I was doing, and she was telling me how she hated it where she was at in the Mulberry Lofts, and she hated it so bad. And I was telling her, yo, would you come? Would you, you know what I mean, come do business with me? Would you come in my shop and come fuck with me? She's like, yeah. So she told me a few things that she wanted, how she wanted it, this and the third. She came, looked at the shop, and she said she was with me. So, I asked her, you sure? She said she was with me. So I started investing in the bread and in the shop. When it came time, next thing you know, I'm hearing rumors about her opening her own shop. And when I called her, she didn't even answer the phone for me, which was crazy. So this summer, I goes over to the basketball game in the park this summer, and I see her, hey, Wop. I act like I ain't even here. Let her tell her friends and all them people at the table with her why Wop acting like that with you. But it's like, come on, man. You ain't answering my phone. You had me spend this money, and you ain't even come through. So I was stuck. I'm talking about I was stuck without not a stylist in that joint for months. Word. So, but everything working along with Paradise Beauty Line, we thugged it out. We doing it. You know, come through. You come through, see Haja, or come see Elvi. You know, the two best hairstylists, do braids, weaves, all that. You know, I think we might be getting a new nail tech. I mean, the nail tech that we got right now, it's kind of, she had a lot of stuff going on right now, but we have a new nail tech in there any day now. But yeah, Paradise Beauty Lounge, yeah, we moving soon. We looking into getting a bigger space soon. So yeah, I'm looking for hairstylists, definitely looking for clients who looking to get their hair done, good braids and good weaves, good wigs, you know, your nails done. And it's a nice, cozy environment. I hope y'all bring the cameras through one day and come take a look at it. But y'all can go to my Instagram, Paradise Beauty Lounge, Paradise underscore Beauty Lounge, or is it Paradise Beauty underscore Lounge? I don't remember. But y'all can look me up, Paradise Beauty Lounge. It's Paradise with a C, not a S. Paradise. Or, you can look me up. Crooks Paradise Presents. Who got the clout? That's my other gram. That's on Instagram. But yeah, man. I appreciate y'all having me. I come back anytime you want me to come through. I got Coke classic stories all day. Hagerstown, New York, to LA, DC, Detroit. I could take y'all all over the place with this, but what else? I'm trying to think. What else? Oh yeah, my brother Money Stacks, man. My brother Money Stacks. He's one of the OG artists in this town. Long as there's a few other artists in this town that have been around for a while, but my brother's still working it. Need to cop his work. What he got out right now? Damn. Look him up. Money Stacks, Crack on Deck, CDQ. Look up all those joints right there. They take you everywhere else you need to go. You can look me up. You know, I ain't stopped being a rapper. I never said I stopped being a rapper. I'm just doing other things right now. But I'll get back to it in a minute. I know they've been looking for me. I'll be back in a minute. But other than that, yeah, you know, Paradise everything, man. Everything Paradise.
Absolutely. Hey, bro, it's been a pleasure, man. Glad you came through. Y'all make sure y'all go check them out on IG and stop by the shop. Hey, thanks again for coming through, man. We out.